Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at Hell Is Us. Now this is an upcoming title. Currently we are launching a demo of the game available on Steam, and as per usual we're gonna max this game out in 2K. And first and foremost, let's talk about the requirements. Now the requirements are quite interesting, and since this is a technical preview demo, I do believe the requirements might change over time. So as minimum you need at least an Intel Core i7-7700k or Ryzen 3 3300X. Memory at least 16 GB of RAM, GPU, GeForce GTX 1070 8 GB or AMD Radeon RX 5600 XT with 6 GB. And at least 8 hard drives are supported, SSD recommended. And the above specifications were tested with upscaling enabled. So this is actually taking into account you will be running a DLSS or FSR or Intel XeS to upscale or downscale your image and get a bit better performance. For recommended hardware, it gets a bit more juicy. You need Intel Core i7-9900k, so 11th gen anything, or Ryzen 5 7600, 32 GB of RAM, and either NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Ti with at least 11 GB of video memory, or Radeon's RX 6750 with 12 gigs. So again, SSD is required, and the above specifications are tested with upscaling enabled. So technically we match a mix between minimum and recommended. So we do have an i9 9th gen, we do have 32 gigs of RAM, and we do have 4070 Ti. So technically it should be fine, but we're not going to be using any upscalers or downscalers. So let's have a look. We're going full screen, 2K native resolution, ultra preset. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is the TSR 3D resolution. As you can see, the description says that it will essentially determine the resolution of the objects that are rendered in. So technically this slider will, well, adjust the resolution of the objects that are being rendered, as the title says. Now, natively this does sit on 70. If you go for the ultra preset, it will crank it up to 90. I don't know if that's gonna change too much, but I would want to say that this probably will hog up some of your resources. The game is running Unreal Engine 5, so it will be a little bit taxing on the system, depending on how much optimization the game dev have actually done for this game. Outside of that, we're going with everything cranked up, including reflection, shading, shadows and textures, and view distance is cranked. So yeah, no vertical sync, no reflex low latency as per usual, unlimited FPS, and we're not using HDR, and no DLSS super resolution, no frame gen, nothing is actually going to be turned on, for the simple reason, let's see the native performance, because as we all know, if you enable any of the, AI upscalers or downscalers, you will be getting out a bit more frames depending on your system. So let's just launch it as it is and go from there. So yeah, MSI upper left, and we're just gonna do this. Now the game is recommended to be played with a controller. If you don't have a controller, you can use a keyboard and mouse. I did try it with the controller, but it's not exactly my native platform, and we're not going to be looking at the tutorial, so let's just see how this works out for us really.
It's a true serum. It's still experimental, hence the polygraph. I would have tortured you, but my employers insist I use their concoction. Now, let's begin. How did you get into Hadia?
The yellow brick road.
Well, apparently, needs more time. While it's going through your system, curious about something. Why did you do it?
Anyone in my shoes would have done the same.
I think you overestimate human beings. I don't think you realize the time, money, and resources that went into this operation. You pissed off the wrong people. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You were smuggled out of Haiti at age 5, grew up in the foster care system, and dabbled in criminal activities. You managed to pull yourself together and become a decorated soldier. After decades of trying to get back into Haiti, well, you decided to take matters into your own hands. Oh, it seems we are ready. How did you get into Haiti?
I asked for a transfer to the UN peacekeepers, who had deployed inside Haiti. It backfired. When the paperwork cleared, Haiti's civil war was in full swing and the peacekeepers pulled out. I reported to my new unit, stole some gear, and crossed the mountains.
Why come back?
My parents. I wanted to find them. I needed to confront them.
How did you know your parents were still in Haiti?
I didn't. My only memory was that my father was the blacksmith of a village of Jova.
Getting into Haiti is just as hard as leaving. Tell me, who smuggled you out?
My mother.
What happened?
She sat me down in the back of a truck, gave me her necklace, and shut the door.
She didn't say anything?
She told me, never come back.
Right, so here we are. Now, this game is a third-person adventure, and the developer studio itself, Nacon Games, is known more for Steel Rising, Robocop, Greedfall 2, Styx, and Werewolves. Also includes Terminator Survivors and so on and so forth. So there's going to be a lot of RPG elements in here, a lot of exploration, and so on and so forth. So let's talk about what we actually see. Currently we're pulling 8.7 gigs of video memory allocated, almost 12 gigs of RAM, and we are sub 60-ish frames, which honestly I'm not too surprised when it comes to Unreal Engine 5, even though I must say that even in this stage the game actually runs better than most of other Unreal Engine 5 games we've tried. So yeah, occasional dips here and there is one thing, but then again, you know, the graphical fidelity is kind of pretty decent when it comes to it. And yeah, I mean, the frame time is a little bit choppy, up and down, 18 up to 26. The CPU is not too worried about things happening. GPU usage is kind of hovering, 95 to 97, at times 98. I mean, it looks decent-ish, but then again, to be fair, I would want to say playing on ultra settings is probably not really the way to go. Specifically, unless you have very beefy PC that's able to, you know, crank out all the FPS, and this is where the latest generation CPUs will come in handy. Now for the 9th gen, even though we do have, you know, multiple cores and threads, it's simply not enough for a game of this size or the game engine itself, which partially is, you know, Unreal Engine 5 kind of puts visual prettiness into the picture. You can see that, you know, things are actually looking good, like all things considered, like, you know, the wet grass and all the shading, the global illumination, all this, it's sharp. It might not like as sharp on the recording, even though I'm recording in native 2K. I must say the game looks crisp. Like this would be pretty decent, you know, kind of like a contender, I would want to say, to Division 2 even, for instance. But the frame time is a little bit of a concern here. And let's speak with this guy here.
You must be lost to wander around Sinedra Forest. I'm afraid I have very little to offer. You're welcome to stay and catch your breath. Frankly, I could use the company.
Right, who are you?
The name's Ernest Cadell. My family has tilled the earth here for generations. When the Sabinian army dug in for the winter, they used our home as their headquarters. I wasn't here at the time, but my sons were. When I finally came back, the Sabinians were long gone. They left my sons' bodies in the forest. My only solace is knowing that my fourth son might still be alive. I hope he finds his way home, if he's out there somewhere.
Right.
Do you know where the village of Jova is located?
It's in Akasa Marshes. It's quite a ways from here. I'm afraid you're going to need a vehicle. Unfortunately, I have none. A group of strange-looking soldiers arrived here last night in an APC. Perhaps you can ask them for help. It's not the first time I've seen them. They always seem to be snooping around here for something.
Where can I find the APC?
They parked their APC just beyond the woods, to the north. Once in the woods, follow the wind chimes. They will lead the way through. I hung them in the trees so my sons would stop getting lost when they were children. Sether has blessed their souls. The gate to enter the woods is locked. Here, take this key to unlock it.
Right, okay, so we got the key. I can go somewhere. Perfect. Right. Now, I am a little bit curious in regards to the performance of the game with DLSS on, but then again, we all know that if I enable DLSS or frame gen, we will probably gonna be around 60-ish or 60-ish plus frames. And, you know, end of the day, that's pretty much all you want. This is not exactly, you know, your competitive title where you need to have 240 frames at all times, otherwise, you know, you're not gonna be getting any joy out of it. And yeah, looks like there's quite a few storytelling plot points in here. You can interact with some of the NPCs. He's a trader, of course, so we will have gear and everything else. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is pretty decent. Let's see if we can just... Oh, we have to use the inventory like this. Fair enough. Can also run. I think let's just go for a little run here. Some old ruins. Cannot climb that, fair enough. And yeah, even with the mouse and keyboard, this definitely feels like a title that could use a controller. Like, you can see how snappy the movement is with the keys. So usually this means that, you know, there's a slow pan with the controller rather than a very quick one with the mouse and keyboard, but it doesn't exactly change much, you know, so probably if we went that way we would go for that little light on top of the cliff, but for now Just have to look around. Yeah, performance is actually quite acceptable, you know, for an early tech demo for Unreal Engine 5 on Ultra specifically. I mean, that is pretty decent. I don't have I need a key for an APC. I could trade with the guy.
You found me. Epsilon 12, right? I can't see shit. I have blood in my eyes. You must have honed in on my distress beacon.
Who are you?
Sifo 451, Epsilon 11. I got separated from my unit. They're still down there behind that door. We were on an SSC. We got jumped. I'm not sure how I got here. All I remember is hearing that door shutting behind me. I must have triggered something. We need the key to the APC. We need to get the fuck out of here.
Who has the APC key?
The sergeant has the key. He's inside with the team. The sergeant's easy to spot. He's the one with a dark red poncho. Shit. I'm hurt pretty bad. I need to stop the bleeding. Look, we have a med kit in the camp we set up in the woods west of here. We marked the trees to make it easier to navigate. Bring me the med kit, and I'll give you what you need to open the door.
Right, we're getting the medkit. Now, before we do the medkit, let's drop the quality down to very high. See what changes in our daily lives. And yeah, we're around 60-ish frames as of now. Visually, we did lose a little bit of that sparkliness, I would want to say. It's no more as crisp as it was before. But hey, 60-ish frames, I mean, I'll take that 100%. So let's just run with the very high for a second here. See if we drop down below 60, but I don't think so. Actually, indeed, mark the trees with an X's. Very nice. There's some sort of shrine here. There's gonna be a way to climb this. Come on. It's got to be their camp. Should have some enemy encounters soon. It's been about 10 minutes at this point, so within the first 10 minutes in most of the horror adventure games you get the combat tutorial with the enemies. I'm not gonna read all this. It goes down into a cave. Oh, the performance did take a hit. I think it's when the next level is kind of loading in. Sure, was the cave sort of down to like 70-ish again. Alright, that's probably one of the things we can find out. The key, the symbols open the door, get some of the gear. We need to hurry back to the guy. I wonder if all this is somehow reachable. Probably it is. I mean, it is a location with collectibles or some sort of supplies. But yeah, on very high, I mean, the game is actually performing pretty well. So let's just crank the things back on again to Ultra, and let's enable DLSS with a frame gen. So we're gonna go with automatic. Alright, and it wants to restart for frame gen to work. And surprisingly enough, the GPU usage went up a little bit when we enabled DLSS, and well, we're actually at high 80s on ultra quality. The sharpness is back, even more enhanced by the DLSS. And yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. Let's go help this guy.
I need the med kit.
I got the med kit. I have got the med kit. Right. Trade.
Oh, good. You got the med kit. Okay, you see that ladder over there? Climb it to the top. Take this. You'll need it to open the door. You'll figure it out.
Alright. I mean, obviously with DLSS, as I said, we're getting decent frames, so nothing really new, but even without DLSS, you know, even on Ultra, to be fair, the game is running pretty well. Now, currently, I do believe we're downscaling at least to full HD, upscaling up to 2K, hence we're getting about 90-ish frames, but it is how it is. And pressing Alt for whatever reason stopped my recording, but hey, we're back here again. So yeah. Interesting premise. You know, like this is one of these games where exploration and combat usually goes hand in hand, but it will take you a little bit of time to get used to the camera way. Need to do this puzzle. It's probably this anyway. Or it's all mines, because it's all mine access. Quite a few combinations we can have here, I think. You'll figure it out. There's got to be a clue somewhere nearby. Let's see if we got any clues from ourselves. Loadout. To get some of the clues here for all this. Fair enough. Okay. Let's look around for the clues. There's got to be something here to tell us what should be done. Unknown language. Perfect. Alright, so there's one of some things that has dropped down. So one of them is a pickaxe. See if we can spot something else somewhere as well. Alright, so the first is the flame, eye, and pickaxe. I see. That probably opened the door. And we took a little bit of fall damage. New area loading, drop some frames, pretty expected. Now we're looking for a sergeant with a red poncho. Manual save. Let's get to this. Now, granted, you would be playing much slower, and obviously you would actually pay attention. But I got to say, even with the current state, I would want to say, even I think this is absolutely fine. This is, I mean, this is on auto, so it's kind of like balanced for DLSS. Even with balanced, only on 2K, on Ultra, you're getting about 80-ish frames. If you don't do it, you get about 45-ish, drop down to like 30. I would want to say no, it's not bad. That's not terrible. Like for Unreal Engine 5 in general, most of the titles we've seen lately, they come out with all these DLSS frame gens and they still barely scratch the surface of 60. I would want to say for all this graphical fidelity, getting 60 with an older CPU, I mean, it's kind of, it's okay.
Hey, are you okay? Hey! Shit!
Well, I think you guys seen enough. I don't wanna go too far in this. This demo is available for free. Give it a spin. See which settings work best for you. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Over now.